Hi, and welcome to Acting is Everything. I focus on film and television acting and casting and typing, T-Y-P-I-N-G, which means image. And there's a few characters that each actor can play, and so much of it is based on what you look like and what you're perceived as. And I have with me for this show the guru of image and typing for actors. And he's featured in Acting is Everything, the book that I write for actors, and there's an interview in there with him, and I thought it'd be wonderful to have him with me so we can really pinpoint on what this type and image is about. So, welcome, Sam Christensen.
Thank you very
Yay.
much. Glad to be here.
Oh, gosh, you've been teaching this. You've been on the cutting edge of this for 20, 25?
I just had my 40th anniversary in show business.
Oh, my gosh.
I started when I was 2, of course.
Well, of course, of course. And you developed this process and what you do over, tell me how you developed it and why, and let's just get started, jump right in.
Well, my past is a little checkered in terms, I've always worked with actors, all of the years I've been in show business, and a good deal of it was spent as a casting director and then as a manager. And in both of those walks of life, working very directly with actors that I believed were great. I early on had a wonderful opportunity, a lucky break in my own life, and I worked on a show called MASH for many years. And that, you know, there were so many young actors brought in as the young GIs and the young nurses, and I would watch those people succeed, get parts or not. And then later as a manager, of course, then I had clients that I wanted to make sure worked. And I kept running up against a particular challenge because on the callback level on the shows that I cast, everybody was good and castable, obviously, and when I represented actors, I tried to represent the very best craftspeople I could, of course, and very often casting would come down to not a question of their acting skills at all, but it would come down to a question of how much they were themselves in addition to what they had to do in the part. And they would get that criticism or recommendation of, gee, do that again. What you did was great. This time, just be yourself. And I would see actors' face go total like, what the heck does that mean?
Right.
And so at a certain point in my life, when I had kind of tired of negotiational show business, making deals and doing all of that, I was sort of done with that, and I decided I wanted to teach and present more. At that moment, I decided I wanted to solve this problem. What does that mean when somebody says, be yourself? And how do actors personalize and then create all the materials, the photographs, the things that capture not just how they look, but a sort of humanity that they have, and then how do they make sure they deliver that in audition and interview formats so that directors, the people that want to cast them, are not only seeing their skills, but seeing the unique thing that that person brings along with their skills. You know, just the way that Robert De Niro and Jack Nicholson are both great actors. We know that. They're great actors, but they're very different human beings. And what they bring to each part and what we come to expect and what we want from them is the Jack Nicholson-ness of Jack Nicholson, as well as the fact that he's a great actor. So I wanted to help actors find that, and over time a system developed, a literal system that I do in workshops to help people identify what that is.
Well, many actors that I talk to say, well, I want to play all the roles. Mm-hmm. I want to, all the roles that, you know, are my age, or even I can age up, or I can be mm-hmm. younger, and I can, what's wrong with that?
Well, I don't think anything is wrong with that basic desire to create as many characters and be as many things as possible. I mean, that's the basis of the art form. But of course there are limitations by gender, by race, by type. And I think what an actor has to do is be cognizant of those things, that there are certain limitations that just come with our physicality, etc. But what's more important than that is within the type ranges that one plays, which of them am I? If I play poetic grad students, you know, there's something youthful and intellectual about me, and so I get cast in those kinds of things. The issue is not so much what types do I play. Those are fairly obvious. It's who am I within that type. In the callback level, obviously, everybody's going to be the right type. Mm-hmm. You know, it's ultimately then, for the director, what else do I get besides the fact that they fit that type range? What else do I get? And I think as actors allow themselves to get more and more into, there are things that I can do within the type ranges that I fit. There are things that I can do that are signature. Only I can do these types the way I do them. And then pretty soon we get that individual kind of performance that causes people to be called in not just for the types they fit, but for who they are within those type ranges. That's what I work on. And as people begin to find that out, then this desire to be everything, do all parts, people become kind of satisfied with the ranges they're in, because it's no longer a limitation. They can now fill up those types that they fit with so much signature work themselves that it becomes special, and they no longer feel that, well, I want to do this and I could stretch to that and give me a wig and I could look like this, and all that stuff that drives people crazy. And then when agents or managers or casting people say, no, we see you this way, people always feel, instead, I want them to feel, I don't really care what boxes you put me in. I can fill that box up in a way that nobody else can. Myself, my identity is unique and special, and it has that signature to it.
Well, it sounds like you're talking about self-discovery and knowing yourself more and more. Some people find that difficult.
Well, this is the little magical thing that I found out about it, because of course there's always elements of growth and self-discovery that we all go through, even non-actors, non-artists. That's part of the human experience. But one of the things that I discovered for actors, and actually for others, because I end up working with a lot of people who aren't actors as well, one of the things that I've discovered is that while there is this element of self-discovery and growth and acceptance that goes on for all of us, there is also this recognition that we're perceived in the world. And because we are inside of an experience, we're on the interior of our self. When somebody else says to you, just be yourself, they're talking about this outside picture that they have of you. So the work I do, the first half of the work I do, is spent on going, okay, what's going on out there? What do people get from me when I walk in a door? What sort of aspects do they recognize on me? What are the sort of the behavioral cards that creation dealt to me? And when people do this, the first part of the process that I do, there's always this sense of sort of amazement. They go, there's some surprises. They'll go, wow, I had no idea that people got that or that. And then there's sometimes the unwelcome things where they go, oh, people are getting that from me. I went to therapy to fix that. How come they're getting that? You know, but they're aware. And then there's all the things that they could predict and they know people are getting, but they get sure of that. And a tremendous thing happens in the first half of the process that I do, where people begin to go, oh, this is the stuff that's working for me. This is the stuff that's out there. Yeah, maybe I'd change something if I could, but that isn't the issue. The issue is, these are the things, the elements, the human things that folks get from me. Knowing that, then all of a sudden my self-discovery, my skills as an actor, what I can turn up, what I can turn down, how I play these cards that I've been dealt, suddenly becomes the issue, rather than changing things or more. But how do I work with these elements that I have?